Welcome back to Noob School. This is where we interview sales pros that can help you get off to a great start in sales. All right, today we're going to talk about more tips and tricks for how you can nail your interview and get that job you want. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to prepare that will give you a better chance than you think. So the first thing, and one of the easier things, is your resume, okay? You're not going to win the game with the resume, all right? But you can easily lose it. I promise you, most companies, at least my companies, when we get a resume in and it just says, let's just say it says Bill Smith on the top, and of course, we don't know the person. And it is, let's say, 5 pages long. We're like, no way. I don't want anyone working for me that's going to do a 5-page resume. It's just too much information. I want people who are a little quicker, who can summarize better. So for me, that's too long. Or if there's a grammatical mistake or a spelling mistake, or sometimes people will be cutting and pasting and they'll get their fonts wrong. So basically any mistake that you make in your resume will just get you kicked out of the game. So probably not get the interview. And you won't know why. Right? No one says, oh, it's because you made a grammatical mistake. It'll just be like, nope, no call back. We're full. We've already made our decision. So get your resume right. There's services you can use for that. And you can get your friend who's an English major to read it over and just make sure it's exactly right. I like them to be no more than a page long, right? Because you can summarize. You can summarize what you've done, and the interviewer, if they want to drill down and know all about, what this job or that job was like, they can ask you about it. But if you just want to read about it, that would be the 5-pager deal. So get the resume right. The second thing that you should do that most people, not all, but most people don't do, is to practice. So you can do this with, one of your classmates or somebody else is in the same position as you, a friend, and maybe you can go back and forth. Maybe you can help them practice for their interviews too. But if you're going to work, let's say you're going to go interview with IBM, for example, after a little bit of homework into IBM and the kind of people that work there, and maybe you can start to piece together what that interview probably goes like, right? Maybe you can find someone who's worked at IBM before and ask them, say, hey, as a favor, could you tell me kind of the questions you normally get, or what points do they try to cover at IBM when they interview people? And once you know that, then the person you're practicing with can pretend to be like an IBM interviewer, at least as close as you can come. And when they start to ask you some of these questions, when they actually ask them to you and for real, you've already practiced it 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Maybe they ask a question like, what are your long-term goals with your business future? And, if IBM always asks you that, then you should be prepared to answer it, and answer it, in an honest, good way. So practicing your interview is one of the best things you can do. So when you show up, that you're comfortable in your own skin, which is one of the best things the interviewer wants to see, is that you're comfortable and not all nervous and weird about it. So those are 2 things you can do to get ready. I've got more coming.